All right, guys. This time we're going to be discussing about passage two. Um, we have climate change reveals ancient artifacts in Norway's glaciers. So we have sentence features. I mean matching features. I'm sorry for that. Matching features. We have to find explanation for weapons. So this part is really not necessary to it's not really necessary to skim through, I guess, just from my point of view, because once you finish reading each paragraph, you will just have to find the suitable sentence from here. So yeah, what I'd like to navigate, it is really important for you to before you come to these kinds of questions, for example, which two of the following statements does the writer make about the discoveries of Barrett's team? So you have Barrett's team. So two of the statements does the writer make about about the Viking Age. These questions are also not necessary because before you cannot really do this one. Neither you can predict because you have to first of all read every single paragraph and then come up with an answer here. You will have to find because the locations are not in order. They are spread around. They could be in the whole. The one first answer could be in the very first one, or maybe the answers could be in the C and then in the A. It's just spread around. But what I really liked to do here is that interesting finds at an archaeological site. Organic materials such as animal skins and textiles are not discovered very often at archaeological sites. So here, organic materials like textiles and hides are relatively. I'm gonna highlight that here. Textiles and hides are relatively rare to at rare finds at archaeological sites. This is because unless they're protected from microorganisms that cause decay. So so what do you have? They have little protection against something, which means that they decay relatively quickly. So they tend not to last long. So we have answer here, which I would like to take that part. I'm gonna give this take this and put it over here. And the answer is going to be microorganisms. Microorganisms. There we go. Now, the first we already got the answer here. There we go. We can also give this a number as well. And now, whoops, sorry for that. I'll take this part and put it over here, and it's going to be number 20. Now, the team of archaeologists have been working in the mountains of Opland in Norway to recover artifacts revealed by shrinking ice cover. So, in the past, there were trade routes through these mountains, and something gathered there in the summer months to avoid being attacked. So, so they were. Excuse me here. I'm going to highlight this whole part. I want you to pay attention to something that over here, mountains and something gathered there in the summer months to avoid being attacked. So avoid being attacked. It could be, it could be a human. It could be or an animal. So you just have to think logically. Thanks to, for example, you can just thanks to your Excel, there's a very good explanation. You just have to have a logic and you have to have a collocation plus a grammar. So these three things you have to you just have to take it into account and just see whether the answer is grammatically correct, make logical sense, and of course it makes collocational. It has a collocational feature to the sentence. So through these mountains and something gathered in the summer months. So extreme cold is one reliable way to keep artifacts relatively fresh for a few thousand years, but once thawed out means melted. These materials experience degradation relatively swiftly. With climate change shrinking ice cover around the world, glacier archaeologists need to raise the clock to find newly revealed artifacts. So glacial archaeologists need to raise they need to raise the clock is to find newly revealed artifacts. So I also want to highlight here an explanation for weapons being left behind the mountains, a reference to the physical difficulties involved in archaeological expedition, an explanation why less food may have been available, a reference to the possibility of future archaeological discoveries, future archaeological discoveries, examples of items that would have been traded. See, the here is a really good grammatical feature. Would have been traded. It's talking about the past, and a reference to the pressure archaeologists are under to work quickly. So pressure archaeologists are under to work quickly. So the answer it's obviously here. Question number paragraph B. We can take that. Um, Put it here as answer B. Option B. Paragraph B gives us the answer, because also you have to make sure that there's no feature that says you may choose any letter more than once. So you have to be very careful with that as well. Now, more we have to if something fragile dries and is blown, it might very soon be lost to science, or an arrow might be exposed and then covered again by the next stone and remain well preserved. The unpredictability means that glacial archaeologists have to be systematic in their approach to fieldwork. Over a 9-year period, you can see that a team of archaeologists, which include Lars Pio, or Pilo, of Oppland County Council, Norway, and James Barrett of the McDonald Institute of Archaeological Research, surveyed patches of ice in Oppland, an area of south-central Norway that is home to some of the country's highest mountains. I want to take that. Reindeer once congregated on these ice patches in the later summer months to escape biting insects. So biting is attacking. Reindeer once congregated on these ice patches. So they are ice patches of the Oppland. So as you can see, we have logically, it suits logically. So we have reindeer, right? So reindeer gather there in the summer months to avoid being attacked by insects. You can see that to escape. We got 2 answers already. I want to take that. So we have question number 21 and 22, right? We have 21 and 22. We get that, and we give this a number. Avoid being attacked by insects. Take that, insects. There we go. Now, also, I would like to highlight here and give this part a question number 19. There we go. B is giving the answer for question number 19. Now, moreover, we didn't really necessarily find anything just here from here yet, but we will see what we can do. So hunters, and from the late Stone Age, hunters followed. In addition, trade routes threaded through the mountain passes of Oppland, linking settlements in Norway to rest of the Europe. The slow but steady movement of glaciers tends to destroy anything at their bases. So the team focused on stationary patches of ice, mostly above 1,400 meters. That ice is found amid fields of frost-weathered boulders, fallen rocks, and exposed bedrock that for 9 months of the year is buried beneath snow. Fieldwork is hard work, hiking with all equipment, often camping on permafrost, but very rewarding. Here. So that means you're rescuing the archaeology, bringing the melting ice to wider attention, discovering a unique environmental history, and really connecting with the natural environment. So here, I think physical difficulties. That means fieldwork is hard, hiking with all the equipment. So I think physical difficulties. Question number 15 is going to be the answer here. I'm gonna take that. Question 15 is going to be C. Okay, I want to give this a number here as well. C is going to be 15. There we go. Finally, now so artifacts. Barrett's team. I really want to see the unpredictability means that archaeological have to be systematic in their approach to their field work. So artifacts found in higher mountain passes were limited to skiing equipment. Hunters went into the mountains even during periods of extreme cold. So now to slow down, so they say field work, often camping and purposes, but very rewarding. Let's see a little bit more. The edges of the contracting ice patches, archaeologists found more than 2,000 artifacts, which formed the material record that ran from 4000 BCE to the beginnings of Renaissance in the 14th century. Many of the artifacts are associated with hunting. So we can see that many artifacts are associated with the hunting. That means something that they found was associated. That means was about the weapons that they use for something. So it could be arrows, it could be bows. So hunters would have easily misplaced arrows. They misplaced arrows, and they often discarded broken bows rather than take them all the way home. Other items could have been used by hunters traversing the high mountain passes of Oakland. All-purpose items like tools, skis, and horse tack. So the question 14 here is going to be D. I want to take that, and you can see it's going to be D. There we go. Now give this option as well, and here I'm going to take that and give this question number 14. There we go. Now, Barrett's team radiocarbon dated 153 of the artifacts and compared those dates to the timing of major environmental changes in the region. Major environmental changes in the region, such as periods of cooling and warming, and major social and economic shifts, such as the growth of farming settlements and the spread of international trade networks leading up to the Viking Age. They found that some periods had produced a lot of artifacts, which indicates that people had been pretty active in mountains during those times, but very few or no science activity during other periods. Reference to the physical difficulties, we have done that. Explanation why less food may have been available. A reference to the possibility of features. Examples of items that would have been traded. I think I might have skipped that, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna pay attention to that just yet. What was surprising, according to Barrett, was the timing of these periods. Uplands mountains present daunting terrain and periods of extreme cold. Glaciers could block the higher mountain passes and make travel in the upper reaches of the mountains extremely difficult. There we go. We found the first one. You can see our hunters went into the mountains even during the periods of extreme cold. We have option B. So here is going to be 23. So I'm gonna take here. I will also try. I will also see if I can find 24 as well. All right. Archaeologists assumed people would stick to lower elevations during a time like late antique Little Ice Age, a short period of deeper than usual cold from about 536 to 600 CE. But it turned out that hunters kept regularly venturing into the mountains even when the climate turned cold. So still, again, there's an emphasis here. They are saying that even in the extreme cold, they still kept on, going after the goal. So based on the amount of stuff they had apparently dropped there. Remarkably, though, the finds from the ice may have continued through this period, perhaps suggesting that the importance of mountain hunting increased to supplement failing agricultural harvests in times of low temperatures. A colder turn in the Scandinavian climate would likely have meant widespread crop failure. So more people would have depended on the hunting to make for those losses. An explanation why less food may have been available. Question 16 is going to be F. 16 is going to be F, I guess. So option F. Oops, sorry guys, 1 minute, my mother is calling. Sorry there guys. So yeah, there was a call by my mother. Now, moreover, so let's read paragraph G, but here the number of artifacts from certain time periods was relatively low. I think I think that period that talks about something else as well. Though the finds from the ice may have continued through this period, perhaps suggesting the importance of mountain hunting increased in supplement failing agricultural harvests in times of low temperatures. So, okay. They found that some periods had produced lots of artifacts, which indicates that people had been pretty active in the mountains during those periods. But there were few or no signs of activity during those periods. More artifacts were found in Upland than any other mountain sites. Radiocarbon dating. Okay, let's read paragraph G. Many of the artifacts Barrett's team recovered date from the beginning of Viking Age, the 700 through the 900 CE. Trade networks connecting Scandinavia with Europe and Middle East were expanding around this time. Although we usually think of ships when we think of Scandinavian expansion, these recent discoveries show that plenty of goods traveled on overland routes like the mountains of poses of Uppland, and growing Norwegian towns along with export market would have created a booming demand for hides to fight off the cold, as well as antlers to make useful for things like combs. Business must have been good for hunters. There, look at that. So okay, it was business might have been good, created a booming demand for hides to fight off the cold. So this one is talking about the Viking Age. So Viking Age here, hunters at this time benefited from an increased demand for goods. I think this one is going to be the first answer, option A. So it's going to be 25. So 20. Whoops, it's over here. 25. Give this a 25. There we go. At the beginning of the period saw the greatest growth in the wealth of kings. Vikings did not really rely on ships alone to transport goods. Here you can find the answer. It was in paragraph B, if I'm not mistaken. Reindeer was used. So the Vikings, reindeer was used and congregated on these ice patches on the later summer months to escape biting insects from the late Stone Age. Hunters followed. In addition, trade routes through the mountain poses of Uppland, linking settlements in Norway to the rest of Europe. So you look at that. So we did not rely on ships alone to transport goods. They also relied on reindeer. So paragraph C is giving us the answer to question number 26. And there we go. Take that as well. Now, as I told you, these answers are there just spread around. You just have to pay attention to that. The number of artifacts from certain time periods was relatively low, but also a reference to the possibility of future archaeological discoveries would have created I don't know. Examples added that would have been traded. So I think, although we usually think of ships when we think of Scandinavian expansion, these recent discoveries show that plenty of goods were traveled on overland routes, like the mountains of export would have created a booming demand for hides to fight off the cold, as well as antlers to make useful things like combs. So examples of items that would have been traded. Okay. There we go. We find the answer for question number 18, which is going to be G. Look at that, G. All right, there we go. So these like antlers, combs again. Whoops. All right, guys, 1 second. I am very much sorry, guys, again. So yeah, I've been having some issues here, so I will have to tackle here. Now, one thing we forgot. We have now left with question number 17, which means we will have to read about paragraph H. Norway's mountains are probably still hiding a lot of history. So still hiding a lot of history here is already a kind of self-explanatory. You can see the possibility of future archaeological discoveries. So like the still means means that there are certain artifacts that are left behind. And prehistory in remote ice patches, when Barrett's team looked at the dates for their sample of 153 artifacts, they noticed a gap with almost no artifacts from about 3800 to 2200 BCE. In fact, archaeological finds from that period are rare all over Norway. The researchers say that could be because many of those artifacts have already disintegrated or are still frozen in the ice. That means archaeologists could be extracting some of those artifacts from retreating ice in years to come. again. So you see retreating ice in years to come. So yeah, we have answer 17. I'm gonna take that part, give it 17, and give this paragraph H. Now, paragraph H. So we are still left with option 23 and 24. So, but also I believe that is the answer option C is going to be the correct one. The number of artifacts from certain time periods was relatively low. I noticed I can notice that they found that some periods had produced lots of artifacts, which indicates that people had pretty active in the mountains during those times. But there were few or no signs of activity during other periods. This part explains the answer, as far as I believe. If I made a mistake, make sure to comment down below. That'll be really helpful. Really helpful. Thank you very much. We have my cat. So now, option C is going to be, whoops, not option C, but answer number 24. There we go. 24 is going to be here. And I'm going to underline option C as well. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We officially finished passage 2 of test 3. So yeah, if you have any questions, make sure to comment down below, and I will come up with a very prompt response to your request. So yeah, if you think I made any mistakes, make sure to mention that as well. So yeah, bye bye for now, guys.